We are back for another quick time together session. And this may just go for 10 minutes or 20 minutes or could be longer because I do need a long runway to articulate things that are on my mind. And mainly I'm speaking to myself as a almost 51-year-old man on a Believe in You BIY 5YM. Believe in You 5-Year Millionaire journey walkabout process to become a millionaire in 5 years using all of the tools, resources, and skills that I have been able to develop since my working career started and doing that alongside with you guys. Now, why am I doing this? And why is it important for you to connect with me? Well, the only reason why it could be important for you to connect with me is we're in the same age category, and we're starting to look in the future towards retirement and having a late start doing that. Now, we do not have time on our side, but we do have wisdom and experience, and hopefully we can multiply that out so we could gain the value that we've put out into the world. So sharing that process with you. Uh, since 2022 to 2024, I've earned $400,000 as a W-2 employee, and I am now starting over. I am not fearful to do this, but it will take a lot of work. And I had to make some major decisions, which I will share some of those with you. And I have done that in previous videos. By the way, like, subscribe, and share. In the description, you'll find a link to download your own financial worksheet. Now, I am not a financial planner, a tax planner, or anything along those lines, or an investment broker. However, the sheet will help you get the conversation started with somebody in your circle that has greater knowledge than you that could help direct and guide your path. Also, a number of people here on YouTube. What I do want to encourage you to do, though, however, is take action. You got to take major action to take major action to make major changes in your life. And some of those things that you'll have to do are not going to be comfortable because we have developed a long-term habit of living how we live. I was doing some research because I want to bring you some decent information that's valuable and short nuggets that are easily digestible and that you could implement. Also, join the community. There's a link up in the bio somewhere where you can join the community of other people just like you who are starting their retirement planning late. Now, because it's a late start, that means we have to work harder, and uh, some of us need to step up our game in this area, and it will look like a complete 180 change for those around you because they are not familiar with what you are doing for yourself. Most of us don't talk about finances around family or friends because we've maybe been trained to not talk about finances. However, smart people talk about finances and are not, or have become less embarrassed to talk about their personal situation because sometimes it shows that you have not been good with your money. You have squandered it like the prodigal son took his inheritance before his father died, went off to a faraway land and squandered it all until he was living with the pigs in the pig pen. And then he comes to himself and he says, "Oh, my father will take me back and I'll go to him and I'll repent." Yeah, there we go. I'll repent. Anyways, that's what he does. Great story. Look it up in the good book. By the way, um, because of that book, I was thinking of some principles that are available through the Bible, whether you're a believer or not, love Jesus or not. There are principles in the Bible that you can take away to improve your posture and stature in life. It's got all sorts of great principles in there, living principles, mental principles, and how to interact with each other. Good stuff in there. I've got like 7 things I want to show you that I pulled out of the Bible today that will help you and me think of work as being good and for our benefit, which it is. the title of the video, what is it? What is the title of the video? Work is good, your attitude is bad. That's the problem that most people are facing, is a bad attitude. And it's not even just a bad attitude towards work. It's just a bad attitude, which, if we think about it, is pretty interesting. Your attitude affects your life in a whole 360-degree view. And having a good attitude will positively impact your life in a 360-degree view. And we're going to review some of those things today and some tools and principles to help you move through this. Now, starting off with the premise that work is good, I think what would be a good idea for us to consider is that Monday should be, if Monday is your first day of work for the week, it should be your best day of the week, because you get to go to work, you get to trade not only time, but your energy, effort, and enthusiasm for what you bring to the day. Energy, effort, enthusiasm for what you bring to the day. And for most of us, a bulk of our day is consumed by work. So let's bring good energy, good effort, good attitude to work, because work is good, because we get benefits from doing that. It may not be exactly all the benefits that you're looking to receive. However, it's giving you the opportunity to use your skills in a manner that's valuable by another human being. Yeah, it's giving you skills to use it's giving you the ability to use your skills that's valuable by another human being, and then in the marketplace, and you get dollars for that. Now, if those dollars are not good, if those dollars are low, which in some situations maybe they are low, maybe the money you earn at work, maybe that is low. Well, if that's your case, having a bad attitude won't change that, but will change that is having a good attitude and how you look at your work. So let's look at work as a way that we participate in the community at a level that the marketplace is willing to pay for. Now, if you want to earn more money, I would encourage you to a couple of things. Skill up at work. You got to skill up at work so you can increase your income. Now, why would you want to increase your income? Well, if you're like me, I work a full-time job about 60, 65 hours a week, plus I'm doing some other things. I have to skill up because I want to provide for my future retirement. I'm providing for my future self, and we're going to get that. We're going to get there here pretty quickly. And we're going to talk about some things that I hope you find valuable. Now, if you're looking on the screen there, work is good. Let's start the day with work is good. No matter the kind of work that you're doing, work is good. Whether you're working on the job or working in your home, work is good. Working on your car, that is good. Working in the yard, that is good. Working on yourself to improve your vocabulary, that is good. There are lots of things that require work. Sometimes you get paid for it, and other times it's just what's required to live a decent life. So let's start with work is good. Proverbs 12:24. The hand of the diligent will rule, but the lazy man will be put to forced labor. Be diligent, don't be lazy. How do you know if you're lazy or not? Well, look around you. Look at your surroundings. Look at how you're utilizing your time. Are you utilizing your time in a manner that provides you the greatest benefit? And sometimes laziness robs you of time, production, and benefit. There's another verse that's pretty interesting. I don't have it written down anywhere, but it says there's a person so lazy that he won't even raise his hand to eat. He won't even raise his hand to eat. That's how lazy this guy is. That's like he has something in his hand, but he's so stinking lazy, he won't raise his hand to eat. That is a person that doesn't believe work is good. Moving on. So, having a good attitude. Let's start there. Knowing that work is good. And then the way we got to approach work is with a little bit of diligence. We need to approach our work with diligence. That's work on the job or work around the house. These things need to be approached with diligence. If you want to earn more money at work, be diligent. If you want your home to look better, be diligent. Okay, how about relationships? Do you want your relationships to be better? Diligence. You need that. In all aspects of life, understanding that work is good and requires diligence to extract all the benefits. Your diligence is required to extract the benefits of your work. If you want to improve your work, improve your attitude and your diligence with work, skill up so you can earn more so we can provide for our future retirement. And that's really what we have to do. A few weeks back, I might be like a month now, I upped my company 401k sponsored plan to a point that it hurt, and it hurt, but I'm still alive, still surviving. I haven't missed a meal or missed a bite or missed a cup of water. And I'm going to edge that up a little bit more because I got some makeup to do. And I believe if you're in my same area too, you've got your own makeup to do. So work is good, be diligent. And the reason why we want to be diligent is that is how we extract all of the benefits out of anything and everything that we're doing in life. Diligence is the tool to gain the benefits of your life. Don't be lazy. Let's put into practice diligence. Diligence in our work, diligence how we relate to people, diligence in our homes, diligence with how we tend and take care of the things that are in our control. Well, that's that. Yeah. So that was it. Another Proverbs 12:24, kind of the same thing. The hand of the diligent will rule, but the lazy man will be put to forced labor. Steady effort and discipline. Even in the gym, you got to have steady effort and discipline. Your life requires these things. If you want to have some quality of living. Now, why? Why do all of these things? Why start off with the mindset of work is good on a Monday? Why practice diligence? Because you want provision. You want provision for your future and the people that are entrusted to your care. So if you're caring for a young family or an older family or elders, provision. Work is good. Be diligent about it so you can provide for yourself, those that you love, and provide for your retired self. Because at some point, you will no longer be able to work as hard as you can now, just because of either age, injury, sickness, or you were forced out of the work world. So do it now to provide for later. There are many things that we can do together. Join the community. There's a just a link there. It's an email page. Just join it. We'll connect somehow because I want to walk with you and I want you to walk with me as we walk into retirement, which is not far down the line. And this thing just hit me probably 6 months ago. I got to looking at my life and looking back and thinking, holy crap, you know what? I am not that far away from the retirement age. And where am I at? And what do I want to do? Hence, I'm here with you, which really started in a different mental conversation that stopped wasting time. And then what can I do with that time? And here we are today. Kind of a long story. Spending too much time on Instagram, kind of put that away now. Not as much time. And converted that time to doing stuff like this with you on YouTube, doing the research and sharing information that can be helpful. I'm not your financial planner. I'm not a certified planner. I'm not an investment broker. I'm just one man solving my own problems. How will I retire in the future without eating government cheese and drinking powdered milk, which is something I bet you don't want to do. I don't think you want to drink powdered milk or eat government cheese. We saw just what happened recently with the government shutdown and any of the EBT or SNAP benefits, how they were halted for lots of people. It could be just like that. And that had nothing to do with the benefits. If you looked at the line and if you looked at what people were doing for employment, there was a number of people that, if I think about it, maybe they were overqualified to receive those benefits. Maybe they actually earned too much to receive those benefits. But I haven't done enough research into that. But what I do know is there are plenty of people in line waiting for a food bank handout. And I get it. Sometimes you got to do that. However, whatever we could do for ourselves to reduce the possibility of that happening, it is incumbent upon us to do that. I'm not eating government cheese or drinking powdered milk. I would rather just eat beans and rice, and that's cheap, and I can buy it myself with change in my drawer. Doing all these things for provision. Interesting, 1 Timothy 5:8. But if anyone does not provide for his own house, and especially for those of his household, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. Now think about that. You lead your house, but you don't provide for your house. And if we talk about provision, we have to look at that in a certain light and in a certain spectrum, because it could be skewed with a whole bunch of things unrelated to provision for living. Provision in when I was born in the 70s, basics around roof, food, clothing, security, kind of in there. But nowadays, some people might think provision are all of the whims and requests of the people around you for the things that they are asking for. When the reality is it's shelter, food, and clothing. And even still, then sometimes some of your requesters are grown adults. It happens. It happens. Anyways, so that's where we are with that. Provisions. Mainly, we want to work hard so we can provide for our future. Deal with the good attitude so it's not that difficult, and be diligent about it. Diligence will take you far. Now, even with that, though, even though diligence will take us far, we are going to find ourselves in a unique situation where our stewardship skills and training are lacking. And that's where we are today, with maybe the idea, like me, like you. Hey, I practice horrible stewardship, and so I'm starting my retirement planning over and having to fast track lots of things. And the only way to not fast track it, the only way to recapture and to catch up is to invest more now for a shorter duration, because we don't get to take opportunity of compounding interest. Now, I do call this the Believe in You, the 5-Year Millionaire, because that's my plan, and I hope you're going to join with me and make a significant difference in your life. And the thing is, and the question is that we are going to be challenged with, is this. Never done it. I don't know anybody personally that has done it. Maybe there are some, and maybe they should keep quiet about it. But I do see opportunity to do that with technology that we have today. So you could take your current career, the current 9 to 5, and then once you're done with that, then you can go do something else. Oh, you know what? That's interesting. Doing something else. When I looked at my Instagram stats, I was spending almost 20 hours a week on Instagram. Almost 20 hours a week. And it got me thinking, wait a minute, I'm wasting time on Instagram watching people live their lives. Albeit something's cool. I love motorcycles and airplanes, so I do watch quite a bit of that stuff. But just kind of the scroll, all that kind of stuff. But it got me thinking, 20 hours a week, man, I can just go get a job for $20 an hour, get $400 a week, $1,600 a month. Then I could take $1,200 of that, the take-home pay, and then I could invest that for my future for however long I could do that. That is grinding. I don't think I have the ability to, I don't have the desire to grind that way. So we're going to look at some other things that could contribute that same amount for less work, energy, and effort. And at some point, I'll talk to you about it. But in the meantime, I do have my day job, a regular career of 65 hours a week. I have a salary, and I get to earn a little bit of commission. So all of my commissions are going into my company-sponsored 401k plan. At some point, we'll figure out how to take that and do something else with it. But for now, that's where it's at. Stewardship is the care and concern of what's been entrusted to you. And if you've practiced bad stewardship, then you've not shown any care, just like me, for the things that have been entrusted to us. And the perfect example is thinking it, if I make more, then I could save more. But it's been proven time and time again that for those of us that make more, we make more, we spend right up to the level. Then we make a little bit more, and then we spend right up to the level. And then we spend a little bit more, spend right up to the level. That's bad stewardship. Not only is that bad financial stewardship, I would bet that could overlay onto other parts in other areas of your life. Your stewardship of the things that are entrusted to you, of how you care for the things that have been entrusted to you, even though you've paid for things. How do you care for those things? Interesting story, but that's interesting to look at it that way. And if we look back at the Bible, Genesis 2:15, Adam's God created Adam out of the dust of the ground, and then after a few more verses, he put Adam to work in the garden, to tend and to care for the garden. Think about that for a second. Adam's first job was a gardener landscaper, and he had everything he needed to do a perfect job. I find that pretty interesting because even if you look at the creation of the world, don't believe it or not, God created the earth in 6 days and then he rested on the seventh day. That's work. He created it. God created Adam out of the dust of the ground, then created the garden, so Adam could work in the garden. So you, my friend, and I myself, we are creative people designed to work. And work could be joyous and fun, or it could just be difficult. Whatever it is, it's what we are created and designed to do. Now, I know some people will say, I want to retire as quick as I can. Well, yeah, I want to retire too. But I always have this thing in my mind, well, what am I going to do? Because I don't want to sit around and just sit. Go over there, sit down, go over there, sit down, go to that restaurant, eat there, go over there, eat there, go to that place, sit down, eat there. That does not sound like the life for me. I want to be busy creating not just this kind of stuff, but creating a pretty interesting life. So with that, I fly airplanes, fly a airplane. I'm a student pilot. I'm working on getting my private pilot license, and that's another reason why I need to earn a few more dollars because that stuff is expensive. Uh, but I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer, but it's still expensive. So I've got to increase my income so I can keep flying because that's one of the most enjoyable things I've ever done with my whole life, other than having kids and being married. All right. Now, work is good. We have to practice diligence uh, because we're providing for our future. We have to take care of the things that have been entrusted to us, stewardship, and we have to do these things with integrity. When we think of our work, when you think of your work, are you doing it with integrity? Are you handling your assignments with integrity? Are you completing your work in a manner sufficient for the people that you report to would say, good job and I'm proud of you? Or do you figure out how not to do work while making it seem like you're busy doing work? I've done that too. When I was a kid, I worked at a model warehouse where our warehouse, we sent out like toy model cars. You put them together with glue and you painted them. We sent out the cars, airplanes, model boats, all of the stuff to put those together, the glues, the brushes. We sent those out to all the hobby stores across the US. It was pretty fun at the time because I was a kid, but there were quite a few times when I was messing around and not really being diligent and having integrity in my work. So have integrity in your work because even if you're the only person that knows that you're skimping out on the work that is given to you, you still know that you skimped out, just like I did. So have integrity in the work that you do. And there's all sorts of different colloquial sayings about what integrity is, but basically do what you say you're going to do or what your assignment is for the work that you agreed to do. Get that. Some people go to work and don't even work. And then they complain about work. How can you go to a place that you agree to go to work at, and then you complain about it, and you're not even doing any work? Maybe that's why your attitude stinks, because your stinking mind and my mind knows that we are not being integrous with what we are doing. We are not showing integrity, and that's killing the attitude in which we go to work. And then we say work is horrible when the reality is it's our attitude that we've fostered and developed within ourselves to have this thinking attitude that work is not good when it's our attitude. Change your attitude, change your life, change your habits, change your life. And let's do it with integrity. Anything you set your hand to do it to the best of your ability. And if you don't know how to do it well, ask somebody else. I have found I have found for myself, I would rather make an error trying to do the thing versus figuring out how not to do it. But since I'm older now, I'm pretty diligent with how I work, when I work, and I'm able to compress work flow and projects to get them done sooner so that my production is a little bit higher because I want my commissions. I want my commissions. And maybe at some point I'll tell you what my regular day job is, but currently we'll leave that for later. Sales, it's sales. Get into sales. Sales is good. Sales is good because you learn how to speak to a value of a thing, communicate that, ask questions and listen, and then maybe you get a sell. I sold cars for a bunch of years. I sold quite a few different things from communications, telecommunications equipment when I first started professionally selling for my dad, and I wasn't a professional at all. I was just, my dad had the business and I can go to work for him. Sold home improvements, sold cars, sold cars, did financing at a car dealership. I sold disaster recovery to what I'm doing today, which I still love it. I'm in sales. I'm a professional salesperson in industrial industry, and it's enjoyable and it's fun. Have integrity with the work that you're doing and have so much integrity that your conscience is your best cheerleader because you work hard. So no matter what anybody else says about your effort, you know within yourself that you could say, hey, I gave it my best today. I had a good day at work today. Today was difficult. It was challenging, but I had a good day today because I gave it my best effort. Which could be it. This is an interesting thought on that. You could ask anybody if anybody at any age related to their job where they receive a paycheck, hey, did you give your work your best today? And you'll see it written on their face. Yep, gave it my best. Man, I got this done, I got this done, and I got this done. And they're happy to tell you what they got done. And then there's some other people, hey, did you give your best today? And in that conversation, they're like, well, yeah, it's pretty good. It's written all over their face because their internal conscience is telling them, no, you did not. But you're trying to make your mouth say something different. I'm kind of feeling it today. So, all right. So, next in line, have integrity because you are working in service. You're a believer to God, but in service to your employer and also your customer. You are serving people. You are serving people in your work. Now, this is taken out of 1 Corinthians 15:58, and I'm not doing any type of expository teaching on this kind of stuff, expository instruction on this. But we are working in service, and if you believe in God, you are working in service to God first, and it will show through your attitude to the people that you work for and the customers that you serve because they're working for God. Uh, in the biblical sense, they say work is an act of worship, and it certainly is. And it's not so much the exact thing that you're doing, but the manner in which you do it. What's your attitude and spirit when you do it? You have energy, effort, and enthusiasm. The 3 E's: energy, effort, enthusiasm. Because you're working in service to God, and the way you work speaks something about you and your character and who you're around and what you believe. It's good stuff. Yeah, this is actually really good for me because I got plenty of things I got to do to provide for my future self in retirement, not just when I retire, but that time period, that window of time, it could be 15 years or 20 years. I got to provide for that period of time when I maybe don't necessarily have the physical capability of doing it at my current levels. At my current levels. One of the other things, though, about your attitude and what you bring to work and the diligence is not just providing stewardship, integrity, and then your service unto a higher power to God. Working hard and having a few dollars allows you to be generous. We don't work to be generous, but it allows you to be generous in certain aspects. Now, you might be saying, oh man, I'm working too hard and taxes and this thing and that thing. I ain't giving anybody anything. And some of you are just that way, and that's okay. I think some people are so stingy mentally that you can't even think in your mind what generosity is. You can only receive it. And then when you receive it, you think you're owed it. Case in point. Not case in point, but at certain restaurants, right? That it's not dine in or it's not fine dining and it's pay at the counter. They're asking for a tip for the servers. And hey, I get it. I tip all the time. And that's just me because I appreciate people working. And my tips are all over the place. Sometimes I'm a little loose, and sometimes I'm a little more stingy, depending on where I'm at. And that's more of a personal thing for you. But I'll never pull out my calculator to try to tabulate down to the fraction of a percent, so I give that right amount. It's ridiculous. That's a mindset that you cannot. Um, that's a mindset that you could not mentally work your way out of using more words because your attitude. So you think if you give somebody a little extra on a tip, that it's really going to affect your life, but the reality is no, it's not. You have subscriptions on different services that you don't even remember that are there, but they're pulled out of your account automatically because you use the thing a couple times. But generosity actually is a thing of it's a position of your your personhood. Generosity is a position of your personhood. I'm free to give. I give when I can, and I don't when I don't. Sometimes I just say no, depending on what it is, because I have some areas of principles that I like to operate within, and that's worked well for me over the time. All right, so getting back to it, hey, like, subscribe, and share. Check out the description in the check out the links in the description. You can find a worksheet to start off your financial planning, so you can get together with somebody locally to you that can help you along this process. Now, the reason why you so other than generosity, the reason why you want to go talk to somebody, kind of a sidebar, because you don't know what you don't know. But the reason why you won't go talk to somebody is either you're embarrassed or you think they're just trying to get something from you. They're trying to sell you something, and that sell you something may be true. But you don't feel that way when you're buying something on Amazon. Somebody's trying to get something from you. Somebody's trying to sell something to you. You don't feel that way when you pay $7 for a single cup of coffee at the drive-thru. We know they're trying to get something from us. We have conditioned ourselves that in those moments and in that situation and circumstance, that is okay. We've been conditioned. You've been conditioned, and I've been conditioned to not talk about finances for one reason or another, to not become financially literate. But that stops today, and you could join the community and find out for yourself. But anyways, find somebody local to you, find somebody that you know that's doing really well with their retirement planning, and then ask them what they're doing, and then figure out what you could do to hedge your future life. Put a safety, some kind of safety net up under you for the future. Whatever program it is, jump on it, get busy with it. If your company has a 401k plan, maybe what could be a benefit for you is to increase the contribution amount to a point where it kind of stings, and you'll find that it isn't as bad as you thought. So let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. And while we're just cruising through all of these, if we're looking at the Bible as the context of like the framework of what all the things that we're talking about today, we're going to get onto some other topics here in just a second. Number one, you got to work. Number two is spend some time for rest. You got to work and you got to rest. At some point, you got to rest because you're not a robot. You're a human being. You need to rest to recuperate, to re-energize your body, mind, and spirit. For the next day, you got to go to work. So let's make sure we're getting some rest at play so we can have balance in our life. Now, if you've been able to put yourself in a position where your work is rest and you feel like you're playing, that's great. We still need some time to step away from that into some other areas that are unrelated to uh, your desire to earn more money, because the grind will grind you down because you, my friend, are not a robot. You are not a robot, my friend. I'm not a robot, but I like to work, and then I like to work on things because that keeps my mind engaged in something. So, uh, ride the motorcycle, student pilot, back there and that thing. I have a sewing machine, a little sewing cabinet right there. Pop that out occasionally and just mess around with it. It's pretty interesting stuff. It's more like a design construction thing, but just with fabric and thread. Kind of a fun thing. So let's see. Here's kind of the summary now. So we can wrap this up. Work is good. Let's pursue this thing with the attitude that work is good. So when we are working, we could have integrity in how we work. We can provide service to those that we work for and people around us. We'll have, and in that, stewardship, provision, diligence, all those fun things, right? So work is good, diligence, provision, well, because you got to provide stewardship, take care of it, take care of your job, take care of the people at work, have integrity with how you do it. Because if you don't have integrity, your conscience, that little tap on your shoulder, your conscience will let you know you're not doing a good job because you're just not doing a good job, no matter what people are saying or doing around you. And if you're a believer, it's your work and the way in which you work is service unto God. God worked, so we should work. Work is good because sometimes we can be generous with financial resources. Yeah. If you've not ever been generous with financial resources, or if you've done it either with holding back or done it with some type of strings attached, well, sometimes there are, hey, this is a loan for XYZ, this is what I expect in return. Okay, yeah. But that's still generosity if you can loan people a few dollars. But generally speaking, I give the money away if I'm just, you hope for some reciprocity, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And then rest. You got to take rest and balance. Take some rest so your body can recharge, so you can get back the next day and do it again. I love to work. I love going to work because I find pleasure and value in working and learning, and I'm doing all of those things, and it's super fun. Yeah, work is fun. Work is great. Now, we've been at this for a little while, and mainly I'm doing this for me. I'm talking to myself and anybody who watches later. I'm not a middle-aged guy. I'm over middle ages because if you look at the average lifespan of a male, let's say he's 80, then 40 would be middle age, and if the life expectancy goes down, then your middle age goes down. but I'm in my 50s. We'll be 51 here pretty soon. And I still have a lot of, uh, I still have a few things I like to learn and some things I like to share and memorialize these things. So the people that I know and love will have something to look back on. Hey, what has Chad been up to? While this is only a small part of my life, it still encompasses a major part of our lives, my life, because we have to work. That's, I mean, unless you were born with a large inheritance, maybe even still, you still have to work because work is good for more than just money, but for what it makes of you as a human being, for what it makes of you as a person, work is good. So that's kind of my deal. What I'm up to. I started this YouTube channel in 2006, but didn't have anything to say, or I felt embarrassed of getting on YouTube and communicating some of these things. Just communicating anything. Oh, why would you do that? You're playing. You're not making any money. You're right. I'm not making any money, but while doing this, guess what I am understanding? And what I am learning is this particular thing. I am able to communicate, talk, and share some words that's helping me understand how I think about some things, how I communicate some things, and what I, um, how I think, how I feel about some things, and where I want to go with my life. That's one of the most coolest things about starting this thing. I don't know if things will ever go viral, but that's not really my concern. My concern is to talk out loud so I can share with you guys what I'm up to about the 5 Year Millionaire using my time, energy, effort, and resources and my skills and talents to provide a return for my life and provision in the future for when I go into retirement, not eating government cheese and drinking powdered milk, which probably in 2025 is probably okay. It's probably okay in this day and age. But you know, you know, I think something else that would be interesting is to look at how we feel and how we move and proceed through life when life doesn't go our way. How do you how do you respond to life when life is moving in such a direction that you can't catch your bearing and you don't know north from south? What are you doing in that regard? What are you doing in that season of time? Pretty interesting to think through some of these things in such a way that is self-reflective, um, and let's see, self-reflective and something that you get a chance to see inward. What parts of your life do you think about that you try to process and you try to work through kind of in your own mind, but then you speak them out loud, and then you go, man, that didn't make any sense. That didn't make any sense at all. What the heck was that about? Right? What was that about? I'll tell you, just even speaking some of these things out loud brings clarity to my own understanding about how I think about some things because I know what I think up here when I'm thinking them. But when I say them, sometimes it doesn't come out that way. It doesn't come out exactly the way I was thinking. Or my word choice was not the best words to convey the thoughts, ideas, and expressions that I wanted to share with you guys. We have a lot that we can be thankful for, to talk through, and to work on. The attitude in which we do these things is going to be important. In my somewhere up here at some point, we'll have a little money thermometer, because again, the 5 year millionaire, how to become a millionaire, not how to become a millionaire, but that's just what I'm doing in 5 years to be a millionaire. Work a real job or receive a salary and small commission. And I'm looking to increase that so I can invest for my future self, the person that I haven't met yet. I am investing for a person that I haven't met yet, for the person I choose to be. So when I get there, I can look back here and I can say, all right, Chad, good job. You put in a valiant effort and you did a good job. Fun stuff. It's fun stuff to kind of think through some of these things. This particular channel will be based on kind of this thought here, the 5 year millionaire, and I'll share some things about that and share some clips from other people. I might do some reaction videos, but I'm not necessarily as that's my goal to do that. But there's some good things out there. Maybe I'll just share a few things with you guys. Uh, some other folks out there that are well better versed than I am in some particular aspects. Like I said, I'm not your financial planner or your financial broker. I'm just one guy solving my own problems. How do I retire without eating government cheese and drinking powdered milk? I've got some other videos that I kind of talk about this line of thinking. And one of my more favorite videos, not videos, one of my more favorite conversations that I had with myself was the idea that relationship is business. And I'm still ferreting that one out, working that one through, because counter, it is against the grain to think of it that way, because most of us think of relationship for love, which obviously there is that for a lot of people. And that really is the goal for your partner, is you want to be with somebody that you're going to love being in company with that person, whoever that might be. That one was a fun one and it's challenging. And I listened to it myself because sometimes I go, well, that was kind of a dumb way to say that. You could have said that a little bit differently. Or I go, man, that's a good point. And the weight of it is becoming a little more heavy as I consider those thoughts a little bit more. So that was relationship is business. I've got like 3 videos on that. Check them out. They're pretty interesting. They might give you a few different things to think about, even if it's counterculture or against the grain. At least it will give you some insight into some of the interworkings of these things. Let's see. Well, I think I think for this evening we're gonna finish it up there. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Leave a message in the comments. Feel free to do that too. Feel free to reach out and connect with me. If you're somebody in the 50s and you're kind of starting over, there's lots of places you can go to for help. Obviously, you can go to YouTube and look up some different things. You can go to any one of the well-known financial planners around YouTube. But more importantly than anything else, you've got to take some major action to take changes. And of course, it all depends on how you want to live your future life and when you want to start your retirement. So this is not a retirement planning channel. This is just something that I'm doing because that's where I'm going. And that's kind of the motivator. And we've got to be motivated. See, we've got to be motivated in such a degree that when we don't have motivation, that we're still going to put in the effort and the work to do what we need to do so we can get to where we want to go to. So, anyways, thanks for watching and hanging out. Enjoyed spending this time with you guys. And I look forward to hooking up with you, connecting with you, speaking with you on the next one. If you know of any other streamers out there that you think could be fun for me to listen to and learn from, put them in the comments. I'm open to learning. This is what this is about. It's a learning environment for myself and for those that are watching, so we can be in a community of other people trying to do the same thing, going in the same direction. We are not playing tug of war with one rope. We are pulling the ship and we are tying it to the dock. Until next time, see you guys.